Hi all, and welcome back to Let's Play Megaman Zero 2. Last time we defrosted a polar bear and destroyed a computer facility powering Neo Arcadia's defenses. Incidentally, that was the last of Valpaizo's little errands for us, meaning we got to take a well-deserved break with CL. At this point, I suppose it's probably best to head back and see if there are any new developments. Like many of the dialogue choices in the Zero games, the choice of whether or not to follow Valpaizo is not actually a choice at all. Should you choose no, it will just stick you in an endless loop of no's until you choose yes, so we'll just go. We'll be taking the erase form we just got in Polar Cameros' stage, which is probably not the best of choices, seeing as it nerfs our Z-Saber combo slash, doesn't really give us any extra power, and is just all around sucky. The lack of expository dialogue by the operators here lets you know that this stage is serious business. Though it didn't tell you at the beginning, this stage is actually called the residential area, its residents apparently being a whole bunch of dead resistant soldiers. You'll be seeing them littered around this stage, and they make a nice little, extra touch to the scenery, which is otherwise incredibly bland. This is one of the most boring stages in the entire game and consists only of a straight trek to the right. You won't be seeing any new gimmicks in the stage, nor will you be seeing any new enemies. There's only 2 hidden cyber elves and 2 cyber elves within the enemies that I will be getting. And all in all, it's just a really forgettable stage. The music playing here right now is titled simply Neo Arcadia 2. It's a remix of the Final Areas theme from the last game titled Neo Arcadia. And it's okay, it's not one of my favorites, but it's definitely superior to the version from the first game. If you look in the background here, you'll actually be able to see a few windows here and there showing actual apartment complexes of some sort, which I assume contain the actual residents of Neo Arcadia. However, I must confess that I am not entirely certain what use they would have for a bunch of insta-death spikes. Or, you know, bat robots for that matter. As I said, this stage is incredibly short, and I'm grinding these enemies for a reason that will become apparent shortly. And we're already at the end. In case you were wondering, there are 13 dead Resistance Soldiers members in this stage in total. They have quite a few different poses too, so you know, might want to just pause and stare at their final moments. At least a few of them got to the end. By the way, the boss, it's a reuse of all the mid-bosses we've encountered, which is incredibly lazy. The only difference between them and their initial forms are that they have slightly more health, but they'll still go down to a mere 4 charge shots with their weakness elements. A little interesting is the fact that they're actually laid out in their weakness order. First comes electricity, then fire, and then ice, as you'll be seeing very shortly. However, this doesn't save them from being an incredibly boring boss that just contributes to the whole mediocre feel of the stage. It's probably one of my least favorites in the entire Zero series. I mean, they didn't even bother to change the layout of the boss arenas, which could have at least spiced the fights up a bit. Instead, we're stuck fighting the same exact bosses in the same exact rooms, and dodging their attacks in the same exact ways. It's really just incredibly boring. Background here, too, is also recycled from the last game, which means that the stage really does not add anything at all. Thankfully, it's over relatively quick, and it's pretty easy to get an S rank on. Reason I was dash slashing those Pantheons earlier is to unlock this, the active form, which is unlocked by dash slashing 25 enemies in a single stage. It's actually one of the most interesting and fun to use, so I'll be showing it off immediately. I'm also going to be switching to the ice chip for reasons. The active form makes you incredibly fast, and allows you to do jumping rolling slashes and dashing rolling slashes. These two were upgrades to your Z-Saber in the last game that you got for killing enemies in certain ways, but here you only get to use them with the active form. They're really quite interesting and reminiscent of some of Zero's older moves, and they also look incredibly stylish, so it's fun to use. The three Reploids back then that were bullying El Paizo and are now threatening the entirety of the Resistance were the three Guardians of Neo Arcadia, Fafnir, Leviathan, and Harpooya. You've already seen Harpooya, however I'll be going into a bit more detail on them in the thread. For now though, I'm going to have to sign off because we have a dynamic mission start. See you next time.